Chapter 12, Body Wars. Here we bring the rebellion straight into the body because if your food, water, medicine, and frequency are compromised, your freedom is too. This episode looks at the medical racket, poisoned supply chains, fake wellness, and the deeper truth that real health is not about symptom management, but reclaiming your body as sacred ground. Chapter 12, Body Wars. What compromises immune systems? What are the true stressors? You may not like the answer unless you've already broken through the mainstream illusion. Let's start with one of the biggest offenders, medicines. Yes, medicines. Pharmaceuticals of all kinds. These include over-the-counter pills, prescription drugs, injections, antibiotics, psychiatric meds, and hormonal therapies. All of them, without exception, come with side effects. Side effects are not arbitrary. They burden the body. They mask symptoms. And the medicine, it never actually cures anything. Let me repeat that. No pharmaceutical has ever cured a disease. It only masks the symptoms. Not that that doesn't have some value. Some of you may say, what about life-saving treatments? What about emergencies? If you get into a car accident, by all means, go to the hospital. Emergency medicine is often miraculous and life-saving. But chronic illness, cancer, autoimmune conditions, these are not cured. They are managed, often at excruciating cost. Some believe radiation or chemotherapy saved them. Let's be honest. What actually happened? The body was flooded with life-threatening toxicity, killing not just the cancer cells, but healthy ones too. If you're lucky, you enter a window of remission. Still, you're not free. You're on the scan treadmill now. Every 6 months, you return for tests. You wait, you hope, you fear. It's not healing. They've replaced the disease with a lifelong ritual of anxiety, checkups, and dependency. I'm not here to make your decisions for you. If you find a certain treatment necessary, that's your choice. Just know this, for nearly every condition you face, there is a natural solution. It may take more work, more patience, and more personal responsibility, but the outcome may be far more lasting and far less harmful. The Great Medical Hijack. The fact remains, medicine does not cure disease. It has never cured disease. Its business model depends on managing symptoms, creating dependency, not liberation. The trillion-dollar pharmaceutical and healthcare complex is not about healing. It is about revenue. The system will never allow for permanent cures. Why would it? Cures cut off cash flow. If you're skeptical, ask yourself, why do alternative cancer cures get silenced or outlawed? Why are holistic doctors mysteriously found dead? Why is nutritional therapy not taught in medical school? And I do mean real nutritional therapy, not the fake one. The answer lies in history. In the early 1900s, the Rockefeller family, oil tycoons with a vested interest in chemical-based pharmaceuticals, began infiltrating medical education. They offered lavish endowments to medical schools on one condition: abandon all natural healing modalities. Homeopathy, herbalism, energy medicine, and nutritional therapy were systematically discredited and purged from the curriculum. What replaced them? Patented drugs, petroleum-based pills, a new religion of pharmaceuticals backed by white coats and government grants. The public? They were told it was science. However, it was always business. The truth is, cures for cancer and countless other diseases exist. Many of them have been known for decades. Some involve raw food, detoxification, fasting, mineral therapy, frequency medicine, herbal regimes, and emotional healing. Many come from indigenous traditions that are being wiped out systematically because their knowledge threatens the corporate model. The cures are out there. You have to dig, discern. Charlatans exist in every field, including natural health. That doesn't mean truth isn't available. It just means you need to sharpen your inner radar. The biohack blind spot. How do we protect our children, especially if we choose not to vaccinate, or even if we did vaccinate but now want to support and restore them? We start by removing immune system stressors. Pharmaceuticals are one. The next is adulterated food. By that I mean any food that has been processed, irradiated, sprayed, laced with preservatives, or genetically tampered with. Real food is whole. Real food is clean and doesn't need a label. Here's the catch. Even so-called organic food has been compromised. Thanks to the FDA, led at the time by a former pharmaceutical CEO, naturally, the definition of organic was quietly loosened under heavy lobbying by Walmart and other corporate giants. Market research had shown their customers wanted organic goods but wouldn't pay more for them, so they changed the game. Market research had shown their customers wanted organic goods but wouldn't pay more for them, so they changed the game. Not by offering better food, but by diluting the organic standards. Now, a box of glyphosate-laced cereal can be sold as organic. Why? Because it contains some organic ingredients, or it met a degraded standard of the original version. It's all marketing theater. It works because it allows parents to feel better while feeding their children sugar bombs sprayed with pesticides and laced with seed oils. This is not organic. This is by design. What we need, what our bodies crave, is food like our forefathers grew. Food raised in living soil, watered with clean filtered water, grown without chemical interference. That's getting harder and harder to find. It's been systematically eliminated. If you've seen documentaries like Food Inc., you have glimpsed the machine we're up against. The question remains, though, how do we get real food into our diets now? If you don't grow it yourself, if you don't have access to a local farmer's market that isn't owned by big ag, if you can't trust the labels, what do you do? We'll get to solutions next, but before we do, let's zoom out for a moment. Some people will hear all this and say, "You're just beating the same tired drum." In a way, I am. Fortunately, the song is changing. There is a massive surge of socially active parents who are putting the pieces together. From sharing birth plans and detox protocols to reading ingredient labels on camera, they're waking up. Thank God they are. We've seen the election of RFK Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services, a man who for decades was smeared, shadow banned, and publicly dismantled for daring to question vaccine toxins, water pollution, and the incestuous marriage between big pharma and big government. His appointment alone has signaled a tectonic shift, a ripple in the matrix, a breach in the illusion of consensus. It means the doors are finally cracking open. Still, let's not kid ourselves. The opposition is a behemoth, decades of regulatory capture. Entire government agencies run by the very industries they're meant to police. A medical establishment trained to mock, dismiss, and destroy anything outside the pharmaceutical paradigm. Billions in lobby money. Coordinated media takedowns. Generational programming. Every step someone like RFK Jr. takes is scrutinized, ridiculed, and obstructed. The machine doesn't implode in a day. The awakening isn't a lightning bolt, but a slow burn. A mother reading an ingredient label for the first time. A father saying no to one more booster. A teenager ditching seed oils and lighting up from the inside out. This is what revolution actually looks like. Not just lawsuits and elections, but millions of micro-decisions to reclaim personal authority. Yes, the tide is turning. Yet there is still a massive blind spot when it comes to seeing the whole picture. You cannot eat GMO products and call yourself holistic. You cannot drown your meals in seed oils or hand your toddler a McNugget and then post about your daily mushroom stack and buttered coffee and claim you're biohacking your way to health. You cannot pop magnesium at night after a day of glyphosate, red dye number 40, and synthetic fragrance and claim you're addressing your body chemistry. That's not wellness. That's physical bypassing through supplements. True health starts at the root. It's not about hacking the brain. It's about liberating the entire being. That means clean soil, clean air, clean water, and clean thought. It means listening to your body as an ecosystem, not a tech interface. It means unlearning the illusion that you can out-supplement poison. Your body is sacred technology, yet it only works when all systems, physical, emotional, spiritual, nutritional, are in actual alignment. From poison to power. There is something else that isn't being talked about enough. If you're still drinking tap water, you're absorbing a neurochemical cocktail. Fluoride, a known pineal gland calcifier, chlorine, pharmaceutical residue, heavy metals, and microplastics. If you're drinking it out of plastic, add estrogen disruptors to the list. Bottled water is not the solution, it's the illusion of one. Beyond that, the air you breathe. Smart meters, microwaves, 5G towers, Wi-Fi routers, and satellites aren't just conveniences. They're constant frequency fields, pulsing through your home, interrupting your mitochondrial communication, disrupting melatonin production, and impairing cellular repair. EMF exposure is a silent saboteur. When you combine it with the heavy metals already in your tissues, the effects multiply. We're not just dealing with poison in the food and water. We're being attacked at the vibrational level. Still, there's more. You can eat cleanly, detox regularly, and still miss the root cause of illness if you're holding on to unprocessed grief, rage, guilt, or spiritual dissonance. This part matters. Your frequency is your immune field. Disease doesn't just come from what enters your mouth. It comes from what festers unspoken, from the truths you don't admit, from the life you're afraid to live. No pill, natural or pharmaceutical, can fix that. Then what do? We localize, we connect, we unplug. Victory isn't global, it's local. It's you, your neighbor, your land. It's a shared cow. A co-op order. A garden revival. It's bringing medicine back to the kitchen. It's breaking bread with allies instead of waiting for saviors. If you're ready to stop managing symptoms and start reclaiming your inner authority, cell by cell, soul by soul, let's move on. Because the deepest roots of personal power aren't found in supplements or supply chains. If we're truly serious about reclaiming the future, we have to start with those inheriting it. The next frontier is not just your nervous system, it's your child's, and the rebellion begins in the classroom. Thank you for listening to this excerpt.